be showing you how to install your Rev-A-Shelf Mixer Lift inside of your cabinet. I have IKEA cabinets, and this is kind of what the mixer looks like inside of it. And then to pull it out, you can just use one hand, pull it up till it clicks, and there you go. I also have a little wire basket underneath that holds my attachments and other little goodies for this thing. And to put this back in, there's two little levers down here. You pull them, and you kind of just let it go inside. So that's pretty much all there is to it. So let's go ahead and get to the first step. Okay, so step one is going to be finding your side support panels. These screw into the base of the cabinet and they help hold the mixer up. The requirements for these are to have them be 6 inches high. The length of them has to be the whole length of the cabinet, and the thickness, it can either be 1/2 inch is the minimum you can have it, or the maximum is the frame of your cabinet. So in my case, I'm using IKEA cabinets, so that is 3/4 inch. So I made these 3/4 inch, and I've cut a little hole out here, and on both panels I have a tiny little hole here. Because I'm using IKEA cabinets, they have this little screw cover in the back, so I counted for that. So just make sure in this step to measure your hinge and adjust for it if you need to. So for the next step, what we're going to want to do is drill 2 pilot holes in each of our side support panels. The first hole is going to be 3/8 inch from the front and 4.5 inches down. So let's do 3/8 inches. And 4.5 inches down. And then the next hole is going to be 11 3/8 inch over from the first hole. Let's get that. And this hole is parallel with that hole, so it's still 4.5 inches down. So then we're going to pre-drill the hole now. You're going to want to use a 3/32 drill bit, and you're going to want to go 1/2 inch down into the side support panel. Okay, so go ahead and do that in both of the side support panels, and then the next step is going to be mounting these. Okay, now we're going to be drilling 4 more pilot holes in our side support panels, and these are going to be for mounting the side support panel into the cabinet itself. Now, it doesn't include any screws, so I went and bought some wood screws from Lowe's. They're number 12s, 1.25 inch, and this is going to allow me to go all the way through this and halfway through my base cabinet. So that's what I recommend you do. And I'm going to drill them at, let's say, 1.5 inches, and then another one at 4.5 inches. And these don't have to be precise, they can be kind of anywhere, they just need to be to be sturdy. So here, and another one there. Okay, so go ahead and pre-drill. You can use the same drill bit, the 3/32 drill bit. Okay, so now the last step is going to be mounting this in the cabinet. So let's go ahead and do that. So the last step for the side support panel is going to be screwing it into the cabinet frame. And I don't have countertop, so I can just clamp it right over the top. If you do, you're going to have to find a way to clamp it down so when you drill it in, it doesn't go anywhere. And I like to start the screws off by hand and then finish it with my drill so I get a nice straight job. So let's go ahead and screw these in. those four are in, you're going to have a nice hold. And go ahead and do this same thing to the other side. Alright, now it's time to attach the mixer lift to the side support panels. So what you're going to need is the screws that came with it. However, I only received 8 screws and not 16, what it says to do. So I went out and bought my own screws. They're number 10, they're 3/4 of an inch. So you're going to want to put 8 on each side of the mixer lift. And you're going to want to start on the center hole, kind of where you pre-drilled the holes in the support panel, and they'll both line up. So now we take the mixer lift, and we're going to screw this in. Also, while you're doing this, you don't want to tighten it all the way because you're going to want to level it off. So don't tighten it completely until it's leveled. Now let's see how level it is. Pretty good. It could go up a little bit, so we can raise it. Alright, so I'm level now. So now I'm going to install the other screws around these. I'm going to use the bottom 4 for this side, so let's go ahead and do that. This one I'll probably have to do by hand, so you probably don't want to watch me do that the whole time. So go ahead and install the 4 screws on this side, and then do the exact same thing on this side, and then your mixer lift should be installed, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so this is the final step. It's going to be mounting this shelf to the mixer lift. And what you want to do to determine the size and shape of this is the length, it wants to be 20 and I believe a half. The thickness is going to be 3/4 of an inch. And the width of this, you need to measure the distance between your mixer lift's brackets. So that's these things right here. So measure between these two and subtract 1.25 inches, and that's how big your shelf's going to be. So what we want to do with the shelf now is take it over to our workbench, and we need to drill 4 more pilot holes in this. And how you determine that is we take the directions say to do 3/4 of an inch from the side here. And let's do that and mark it. And then we want to do, it says 8 1/4. And there's that. So right where it meets, go ahead and make a mark. And then the next one, it wants to be at 7.5. Same distance, 3/4 of an inch from the side. And go ahead and mark that. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing on the opposite side, so let's do 3/4 of an inch. And then 8 1/4. And from that spot, it wants to be 7.5. Get my ruler straight. 7.5, right there. Okay, And then you're going to want to go down again 1/2 inch, and you're going to use the same 3/32 of an inch drill bit. So let's go ahead and drill that. Okay, now that we got our pilot holes drilled, we'll take you over to the lifter mix shelf, and we're going to attach this to it. So I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, we're almost done. The next step, you're going to need a set of screws. They're going to be the number 8, and you're going to want a 1/2 inch for that. So in total for the shelf, you're going to want to put 8 screws in. We drilled 4 pilot holes, so you need to put 4 additional screws into the shelf. So if you can see the shelf up here, I've already clamped the back. I'm just going to show you how to do the first 2, and then finish the other 2 that we did the pilot for, and then fasten 4 additional screws into the shelf. And your first step for this is going to be lining the holes up. So I've done that before I clamped it to make it a little easier for me, but make sure you line the holes up on the bottom, and then we're just going to screw this in. So just go ahead and do the additional screws, and then that's pretty much it. You're done. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you can subscribe or send me a comment, or if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.